Today, we are diving into a huge geopolitical mystery. We're going to unpack Iran's sudden and, frankly, shocking new military precision and what it could mean for the entire global balance of power. So let's just jump right into the central question that has military analysts completely baffled. It's one thing to hit a city or even a specific building, but how in the world does a drone find one single room on one specific floor of a hotel and know exactly who is inside at that very moment? To really get why that question is so critical, let's look at the first piece of this puzzle, this sudden, almost unbelievable leap in Iran's military accuracy. Okay, so what is really blowing everyone's minds here is the sheer speed of this transformation. We're talking just 8 months ago, reports were showing that Iranian missile accuracy was, well, inconsistent at best. A lot of them missed. But today, we are seeing pinpoint strikes where apparently not a single missile misses its target. This isn't just a small improvement. It's like a technological revolution that happened literally overnight. And you can imagine, this new reality is reportedly causing immense frustration at the very highest levels of the U.S. government. There's this sense of disbelief, of urgency. You've got leadership demanding to know how their multi-billion-dollar radar systems are being taken out so easily. And the even bigger question, who is helping Iran pull this off? So, that's the billion-dollar question, right? Where did this completely game-changing capability come from? Let's break down the search for the source. Well, the most obvious theory is that they're getting a major tech boost from other global powers. Two main suspects are on the table here. China, which could be providing its Baidu satellite navigation system and some advanced radar, and Russia, potentially supplying really sophisticated missile and military electronics. That would definitely explain the better hardware. But, and this is the key, this brings us to the deeper mystery. See, advanced guidance systems, they can get a missile to a specific building, no problem. But the hardware alone cannot tell you who is inside that building, or what floor they're on, or which conference room they're using. That requires a totally different kind of power, human intelligence. So the thinking is, this absolutely critical intelligence could be coming from one of three places. First, massive cyber attacks, maybe by state actors like China or Russia, hacking into phones and databases. Second, classic spies on the ground, human intelligence. Or third, and this is by far the most explosive theory, an internal leak. Someone from inside U.S. intelligence who actually disagrees with the conflict. This new capability is creating all these cascading problems for the U.S. and its allies. This isn't just some technical challenge anymore. It's a full-blown strategic crisis, and it comes with a very, very high price tag. First, you have to understand this is an incredibly lopsided, asymmetric fight. It all starts with the Iranian assets, like a drone, that can cost as little as $2,000. They're cheap, you can make a lot of them, and as we're now seeing, they are dangerously effective. Now, compare that $2,000 weapon to its target, a U.S. early warning and radar system that's valued at around $1.5 billion. Think about that. This isn't just about the money, it's a massive strategic asset that takes years to build, and it's being taken out by a piece of tech that costs less than a used car. And this failure, it extends to the information war too. In one attack on a base in Kuwait, Iran claimed to have inflicted over 100 casualties. The official U.S. report, just 2. That huge gap creates confusion, and it really undermines credibility on the world stage. And the fallout isn't just military. Oh no, this instability is sending shockwaves right through the global economy. As energy supplies and shipping lanes get disrupted, markets in the US, the Middle East, Asia, and Europe are all feeling the pain. And believe me, investors are watching and they are getting very nervous. But maybe the most critical consequence of all is that this perceived failure is eroding trust. Key U.S. allies in the Gulf are reportedly losing faith. They're said to be pushing for an end to the conflict because of this growing belief that America's defensive shield, well, that it can no longer protect them, or maybe even itself. So when you add all of this up, the staggering economic costs, the contested information, the eroding trust among allies, it becomes pretty clear these are not just isolated incidents. What we're actually seeing is something much, much bigger, a fundamental shift in the region's balance of power. So let's just unpack what a balance of power shift really means. It's way more than just military wins and losses. It's when the fundamental rules of a region get totally rewritten. All of a sudden, decades-old alliances become fragile, economic partnerships get questioned, and the nation that was once seen as the ultimate protector suddenly looks vulnerable. The argument here is that the U.S. is finding itself on the wrong side of this rapid realignment, and that has profound consequences for everyone. The ultimate conclusion drawn from these events is, well, it's pretty stark. It's one of American vulnerability. It paints a picture of a superpower that's on the back foot, seemingly unable to stop these precision attacks, and with no clear strategy to regain control or win the conflict. And all of this leaves us with a final and very provocative question. It's a question that, just a short time ago might have seemed completely unthinkable, but now it demands some serious consideration. Is the era of undisputed American dominance in the Middle East actually coming to an end?